Today I'd like to talk to you about change. Change in business, change for business people. No matter what size the organisation is, things are changing. It's often been said the only constant at the moment is change. Not particularly helpful, but that's kind of where we are at the moment. But change means different things to different people. A big change for one person may be small for another. Something that's really emotionally important to one person is less important to another. And how do you cope with that in business? I think there's a number of things that we need to be aware of. The first thing is that change will happen whether we like it or not. And the second thing is, if we are business leaders, we need to be prepared to deal with that for and with our staff. So I'm going to give you some thoughts on what you need to be aware of as a business leader and the kinds of things that need to be forefront of your thought processes when you're dealing with change in business. The first thing is about communication. You hear it a lot. We need to communicate with people through change. But what does that really mean? For me, it's about communication up and down and through an organisation. Yes, it's really important for the top-down communication to be important. And now there is no excuse for not being able to get messages out to people. There's lots of different media you've got within all sorts of organisations, large and small, to get your message across. But it's equally important to get feedback back up from people within the organisation and allow people time to talk about things. Some will want an open forum discussion. Some might want a one-to-one discussion with a middle manager or with a senior manager. Some will want the opportunity to contribute to an online discussion board. Can you provide those facilities? Can you make it easy for people? Some will just want some time to talk to their colleagues and just find out what's going on. So the more information you give people, the more you should expect back. But you need to really encourage people to take part in that communication and make it really two-way. One of the ways to do that is to make sure that the communication is really honest. We're still going through a time of lots of turmoil in business. There is still lots of downsizing, there's still lots of reorganisation and restructuring. We handle some things really well, somebody's made redundant, the whole process is handled, there's a whole load of stuff that goes with it. Sometimes people feel well handled, sometimes not. But what about the 95% of the people who are still in the business? Do they really know what's going on? Do they understand that you really think that that's the end of it and that in the future, next 12 months, the next 24 months, we're not going to face that same issue? Or are they unsure about it? So make sure that the communication is really honest about what's going on. Don't paint a really black picture if it's not there, but being rosy and positive or not telling people what's really happening will also not help, because people will be unsure. And if they're not sure, they'll make it up as they go along, and that won't help either. Then think about the actions. What do you do to really support the fact that this is what's going on in the business? That we're investing in something new, or we're downsizing a department, we're changing the way we do things. What are the actions from top management that help people understand that this is the way it's going and this is really important? You've got to be seen to be doing what you say you're going to do. Then think about the needs of the people within that organisation. Having said earlier that people react to change in a different way, it's because we all have different emotions and feelings and different areas of importance. So as the management within an organisation, you need to be aware of that and you need to think about those different needs and anticipate the fact that people will be different. Make things open, make it accessible for people, but expect some reactions that are less than positive, even from people that you would normally have thought would be quite positive. Even when you don't think something is really huge, if it's a big part of their day-to-day work, it may have a bigger reaction than the one you anticipated. Then think about the goals of that activity, that change, that process. Where are we going with this? Do we all understand why it's important and why we need to be doing this? And then finally, how do we really engage people to want to move forwards? I talk to a lot of people who are currently saying they're just not sure what's going on in the business they work in. They don't feel like they want to do very much. Yes, they're kind of grateful they've still got their job, but they're not motivated and engaged to really want to move forward and drive them in that business and really help it forward. Stay as it is now, keep it stable and move on. They're just not engaged. But there is a lot of uncertainty out there. There's a lot of uncertainty within many businesses. A lot of staff just don't know what's going on, so they feel like things are changing. So if you want to think about ways that you can help the communication and the change program within your business, then come and talk to me. Is it a small program? Is it a large program? Is it just how do we treat the communication? Or do we need something much bigger to engage the whole of this workforce, whether that's 20 people or 200 people? Contact details are on the screen, phone, email, whatever you feel most comfortable with. But think about what's right for your business. That initial phone call and discussion, you can see where it goes for you.